Every great battle has its heroes, legends forged in the fires of combat, fearless warriors who tip the scales of fate with their skill and bravery. This is not one of those battles. Meet the three Musketeers, except instead of swords, they have questionable accuracy, and instead of chivalry, they have reload timers. First up, DadBodDefender, the smallest, lightest, and least qualified of the trio, built for scouting, but destined for other things. Things like missing shots, panic reversing, and dying in dramatic fashion. Next we have the AMX 1375, the mature one, the seasoned scout, the one actually doing its job, mostly. And finally, the Bret Panther, a shining example of German-French cooperation, a partnership that history tells us has always gone smoothly. An elegant blend of baguettes and bratwurst, engineering and enthusiasm. Surely nothing could go wrong here. Together we are a team, a unit, a disaster waiting to happen. Will we carve our names into the history books? Or just into the side of an AT-8? Let's find out. Side by side, the AMX ELC Bis and the AMX 1375 race toward the H7-H8 ridge on Safe Haven, a ridge that has absolutely never gotten anyone killed. Ever. Totally safe. A real estate goldmine. The AMX 1375 gets there first because it's faster, or because it's actually being driven by someone competent. Meanwhile, in the rear, DadBodDefender heroically brings up the middle, a bold and daring maneuver typically known as being slow. As our fearless comrade reaches the ridge, he spots trouble and wisely pulls back. A decision made out of caution, or just a general desire to continue existing. And what does DadBodDefender do? He sees his fellow scout retreat and thinks to himself, "Ah yes, time to push forward." Decisions were made. Whether they were good ones remains to be seen. The battle intensifies, shots are fired, precision is key, and against all odds DadBodDefender actually lands some. First, a well-placed shot into the enemy AMX ELC Bis, establishing dominance over my much smaller, much more agile twin. Then, 2 solid hits on the Easy 8. At this point, my accuracy is approaching dangerously competent levels. This, of course, will not last. Ah, and there it is. The universe restores balance as I heroically tank 2 shells, which is a fancy way of saying I was too slow to reach cover. And so begins my tactical relocation, or as others might call it, blind panic in the wrong direction. J9, a position sought out only by skilled light tank players, a spot for calculated vision control, map dominance, and strategic awareness, so naturally, it makes absolutely no sense that DadBodDefender is there. Was this a brilliant tactical read? A next-level game sense move? A sign of his evolution as a player? Or did he just run away in a blind panic and accidentally end up in the perfect spot? And just as the sheer magnitude of his unintentional genius is settling in, enter the Bratwurst Baguette, ready to make this accident look even more like a real strategy. It's all coming together. And by all, I mean one thing. And by together, I mean barely held together with duct tape and hope. Against all odds, DadBodDefender and the Bret Panther achieved the impossible. They vanquished 2 enemy VKs. 2? That's basically a double kill. Surely statues will be built in their honor. Victory, glory, tactical brilliance. DadBodDefender is unstoppable. Fueled by an unearned sense of confidence, DadBodDefender charges ahead, boldly seizing the momentum, ready to solidify his place in World of Tanks history. And that's when he almost drives straight into the gaping maw of the previously foreshadowed AT-8. Ah yes, destiny. Miraculously, DadBodDefender is not instantly obliterated, which is concerning. Perhaps the AT-8 was momentarily blinded by disbelief. With the Bret Panther by his side, the fight actually seems winnable. The duo bravely engages the enemy TD, a battle of tactics, strategy, and oh no, from the heavens above, divine justice takes aim, struck down, in his prime, by the Soviet Sky-Pig. A moment of silence for a hero lost too soon. A legend who, okay, let's be honest, had this coming from the moment he spawned in. And so, the battlefield continues on, without DadBodDefender. Life moves forward. The sun still rises. The match is still winnable. And yet, here we are, staring at the twisted, smoldering remains of what was once an AMX ELC Bis, contemplating the choices that led to this moment. Some might ask, why keep watching? Why leave the camera rolling? But the real question is, why not? Is this not the essence of human curiosity? To observe, to witness, to learn from our mistakes, or at the very least, to have an excuse to ramble on about nonsense while waiting for a result? Much like that poor soul over there, sometimes in life, we just need to accept that things are out of our hands. But maybe, just maybe, DadBodDefender's noble sacrifice has served a purpose. Perhaps his demise was not in vain, but instead a lesson. A tale of bravery, overconfidence, and the inevitability of Soviet Sky-Pigs. Or maybe his team is just better off without him. That's also a possibility. So what do we take from this experience? That true victory is in the effort. That success is not measured in survival, but in the attempt. Or that, realistically, an artillery shell from across the map cares not for philosophical ramblings. It's probably that last one. And so the battle ends. A match that will be remembered by absolutely no one. Except maybe the Soviet Sky-Pig, who is no doubt still giggling in a garage somewhere. Did DadBodDefender achieve greatness? Did he leave behind a legacy? No. But did he at least exist? Also debatable. But before it all fell apart, there was hope. There was optimism. There were 3 tanks who believed in something greater, or at least 3 tanks who were momentarily on the same side of the map. So here's to them, the AMX 1375, the Bret Panther, and of course, DadBodDefender, who, if nothing else, proved that even a completely accidental plan can kind of work. Like and subscribe for more completely avoidable catastrophes. Or don't. It's not like Wargaming is handing out medals for this.